Excuse me, Madam Clerk, can you give me the motion, please?
I will read back what I have, but perhaps Councillor Hargrave can confirm that this is exactly what his wording is, because I don't have his written one.
Yeah.
That council for the 2011 capital and operating costs be included into the budget that we have to date to repair the outdoor pool and to have it for opening status in 2011, and that the town develop a long-term capital strategy for the pool.
Yes, and I would like to make a friendly amendment, Mr. Councillor Bannon. You put that in there, didn't you, as part of the accessibility side of it? And I would agree to that 100%, that the accessibility be brought into it. And again, it's not about the grant as opposed to this pool. There's two different things, and if we got the grant, that would be wonderful. This is just an existing landmark that we're trying to save.
Thank you. Yeah, Councillor Bartley?
In that motion, did they say to open that pool by 2011, like this spring? Is that what it is? Like, that's almost impossible, isn't it?
I'll defer that question to Councillor Hargrave.
I'm not a pool expert. All I'm asking is that if we put the money in, it'll be started this year. It might be opened in July, it might be open for a month, it might not be open, but you know what? It'll be definitely preserved and saved for years to come. So that's what we're asking. I mean, if we have to take a year that they run through splash pads or hoses, whatever, but the fact that the residents here today would know that that pool's saved and they can swim in it, opening day, May 20, 2012, I think that would be a great thing.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Bannon?
And I don't think that we're in a position to vote on that today until we know the exact vote on the refurbishing of that pool, including the accessibility issues as compared to adding a tank to the new splash or water feature that we're going to have.
Doing the water feature?
I'm sorry.
Are we doing the water feature? Is that a for sure? Or are we hanging our hopes on the $3.7 million grant?
No, there is a planned water feature for the design of the water feature, not a water feature splash pad.
When's it opening?
Can I just finish?
Yeah, sure.
Excuse me, Mr. Moss.
It's not a water feature splash pad, as I understand it. It's a water feature that could include a tank which would provide a pool for the town, so that's a decision that can still be made by the town.
Thank you, Mr.
So, and I still feel like it's very difficult for us all to make a decision on this at this point without knowing the cost and comparing it to them. So I would like to defer the vote if we could, Councillor Hargrave, because we can't really make an honest decision.
Yeah, but we can put this as a motion that we would look at it into the budget, and I think that's important today, to come to a commitment for the residents. That's all I'm asking. I mean, I got a motion on the floor. I'm asking for accessibility.
You got it moved, sir, and seconded? Yes, Councillor Hilton.
This is actually getting really muddled. For clarification, are we talking now about putting money in to refurbish the pool, or to put money in to build a new one?
Refurbish the old pool. Is there a motion on the floor? The motion on the floor is to do strictly the old pool. Has nothing to do with the grant or the splash pad.
I understand that.
I'm just trying to explain. I think that you're right, Councillor Hilton, that we're getting them both, because Councillor Bannon said we could look at another one. If we're not, if you're going to do this, you're going to do it at that one site, and that is the old pool.
So we prefer to refurbish an old pool instead of having a new one?
Yeah, that's the
That's what we're here for.
That's the motion on the floor. Okay? Yes, Councillor Smith. Excuse me? Never had to use this gavel yet, so if you don't mind, I don't want to. Please, we listened, and now it's our turn to debate it, because we've got to get it to the floor, and that the motion's on the floor, and we will be voting. But every councillor has an opportunity to speak to it. You had your chance. Thank you. Councillor Smith.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. For me personally, I cannot support today, quote, putting in or including in the budget a huge dollar figure for just the short-term repair of the existing outdoor pool. The approach I would rather we take is we receive the delegation today and all the comments and information that's been given, refer it back to staff, and get a report that's more comprehensive, that assesses different alternatives before we make a decision. One of them being to explore the question, what are the costs and feasibility of even being for the long-term pool to meet all of the accessibility requirements, and compare that with the Plan A that I understand was approved by council in January to go for a grant to build a very comprehensive and integrated water park that addresses accessibility issues, provides, and in my mind, I've never heard that that was going to be limited to just a splash pad. It was going to be a water complex that could address many of the needs of our residents. I'd like to see what that alternative looks like as well. And before I commit to any decisions to, quote, add money into our 2011 budget. Now, I don't know if it's possible to get a report that would give us the pros and cons of those three different scenarios in time for the budget day, but that's the approach I would rather go, is to get more information in front of us. And so I will not support a recommendation to quote, put money in to the budget today. Thanks.
Councillor Smith, I think the CAO said that they would try to have some ballpark figures that we could look at for a report to come to council at budget day. Whether we, and I'm not trying to muddy the water, whether you refurbish the existing pool at the cost to make it accessible for all, or you go to a totally different tank, totally different, and decommission the pool. And I think that's, but I mean, that's not the motion on the floor at this time. The motion on the floor right now is to save the outdoor pool. And that really, the motion goes more about by saying to refurbish it and then not to consider anywhere else, just this plot. Okay? You've got the motion now, members of council. All those in favor? Against?
Oh, come
The motion's carried.
Shame on you.
The motion's defeated. Councilor